What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Titan Town. Today we're going to be talking about the Tennessee Titans players with the most approved in 2017. Before we get into that, though, I'd like to give a huge shout out to Taylor for making the channel icon. He did a great job with that. So I really appreciate Taylor for doing that for me. He's one of our Titans brothers who live all the way out in California, so it's great to see the fan base stretching out across the nation. So stay tightened up, Taylor. So let's talk about some players on the Tennessee Titans roster who have the most to prove. And of course, the rookies always have something to prove. So Corey Davis, Adoree Jackson, Taywan Taylor, Jonnu Smith, all the rest of those guys who got drafted this year, they've all got something to prove, of course. That's kind of obvious. Moving on, there's also players playing in the last year of their contract hoping to get an extension. So, of course, they're going to be wanting to prove something out on the field this year. Of course, one of those players is Eric Decker, who did sign a one-year contract with us. Some of the other players is Daquan Jones. He is our starting left defensive end, 5-tech, whatever you want to call it, across from Jarrell Casey. Also, Ryan Suckup, our kicker, is in the final year of his contract. Quentin Spain, our starting left guard, is in the final year of his contract. Avery Williamson, homegrown talent right here from Milan, Tennessee, just probably about 30 miles away from me. He's in the final year of his contract, and I really hope he shows out. I'm a big fan of his because of that. I actually played against him in high school. Well, not really against him. We both played defense. He was a middle linebacker. I was an outside linebacker, but hoping he gets to stick around and has a long career here in Tennessee. Nate Palmer is also in the final year of his contract, and Nate has really been showing out in the offseason so far, mini camp and training camp. Coaches have been raving about him. Maybe it's because he's starting to pick the playbook up better. Maybe it's because he's finally starting to come into his own. He was considered to be a very athletic linebacker coming out of college. So hopefully he can do some nice things for us this year as well. So let's talk about some other ones that are not so obvious. Let's start out with the face of our franchise, Marcus Mariota. Mariota is going into year 3 of his rookie deal, year 3 in the NFL. This is really the year between years 1 and 3 is really what most experts say. What you see in year 3 is what the player is going to be for the rest of their career. So hopefully Mariota, he had a great sophomore season, a good rookie season. Hopefully he'll be able to push himself up into that elite status in year 3. He has lots of new weapons. He's got Corey Davis, Eric Decker, Taywan Taylor. Jonnu Smith might get to see the field a little bit as a rookie. Then he has players coming back, Delanie Walker, Rashard Matthews. So hopefully Marcus can really take a next step forward in his development. But that's not why he lands on this list because of this. He lands on the list because through his first 2 seasons, he still hasn't been able to stay healthy for a full 16-game season. And if we want to make the playoffs, it is imperative that Marcus Mariota stays healthy because this team lives and dies by the play of Marcus Mariota. So we really need to keep our fingers crossed that he stays healthy, especially if we want to make a playoff run. I don't blame either injury on Marcus Mariota. Both were freak accidents. Both, if anybody would have landed like that, it would have hurt anybody. It's not that he's injury prone or he's weak or anything like that. We're just really hoping that he can stay healthy, and hopefully our offensive line can keep a clean pocket for him to really utilize these weapons that we got. Plus, we have the running game that's going to open up that passing game. I'll probably make a video about that later, about our offense and how it's revamped and how it should be one of the elite offenses in the NFL. So I'll probably talk about that later. Also, if you guys have anything Titan related that you want me to talk about, drop it in the comment section below, and I'll do a video and I'll feature you and shout you out on that video. I want this to be kind of like a community page. I want you guys to submit content for me to talk about, or for us to talk about, of course. So be sure to leave a like. The like button is very important in growing the community. The way YouTube is set up, the videos with the best like to dislike ratio and certain tags is what shows up first. And be sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you see these videos when they come out, and you'll get to see your shout out, and you'll also get to see other things. Moving right along, another player that lands on this list of players of most approved in 2017 is one of Marcus Mariota's weapons, and that's Tajae Sharpe. Tajae Sharpe was drafted in the 5th round of last year's draft. He come and hit mini camp and training camp and had lots of success in practice. Coaches and players were all raving about him. Then when he got on the field, he flashed every once in a while, but more often than not, he kind of looked slow. But that was one thing that we knew of him coming out of college, that his athleticism was limited. So hopefully he'll be able to play faster here in year 2 of his NFL career. Maybe he'll pick the playbook up better. He does run great routes, and he does have pretty solid hands. So hopefully he'll have a better year 2 in the limited time he's going to get to see the field, because he does have a lot of competition now. We really restocked our receivers during this offseason. We've added Eric Decker, Jonnu Smith, kind of. I don't know if you want to count him or not. Taywan Taylor, Eric Weems. We've added some receivers. I can't think who all we added right here off the top of my head. I know we added Decker, Taywan Taylor, Corey Davis. That's 3. And those are going to be his main source of competition more than likely. He will see the field in a rotational role. His main competition is going to be Taywan Taylor for that number 4 spot. So we'll have to see what Tajae Sharpe does do in year 2, but he really needs to step his game up if he wants to see the field more often than what he did last year. Well, he ain't going to see it like he did last year, but if he wants to see the field more often than Taywan Taylor, he's really going to have to step his game up. The next person on my list, besides for the rookies and the players with expiring contracts, is very obvious, and that's Kevin Dodd. Kevin Dodd, he come in his rookie year. He got to play in the Detroit game, and he had a pretty solid game in that game. Derek Morgan was out hurt. Luckily, Dodd was able to push through a foot pain or foot injury or whatever it was he was feeling and be able to make that game, because we really needed him in that game, and he even got a sack in that game. So that does kind of ease one of my concerns, which is still a little bit of a nagging concern. Kevin Dodd come into the league playing with a hand in the dirt on the defensive end. Now he's going to a standing up outside linebacker. So hopefully that'll translate over. And not only that, he had one stellar year in college. He didn't have multiple good years in college that I can remember. But hopefully he can put it all together, and he can do an outstanding job on that outside linebacker spot. We really need some depth behind Brian Orakpo and Derek Morgan. So hopefully Kevin Dodd. I keep wanting to say Byard, I guess, because I see so much stuff with Byard. They keep interviewing him. The coaches keep bringing him up. So I keep wanting to say Byard, and if that does slip, know that I mean Dodd. I'm talking about Kevin Dodd right now. But we definitely need some depth in that outside linebacker position. Josh Caraway drafted in the 7th round. I think he's really going to surprise a lot of you people. Listen to me now. I'm marking this now. Josh Caraway is not only going to make the roster, but he's going to get to see the field in a limited capacity, kind of like what David Bass did while Kevin Dodd, Brian Orakpo, and Derek Morgan was all healthy. He's going to get to see the field a little bit. He has a lot of potential. He also has a lot of room to grow, but he does have a lot of potential, a lot of upside. I didn't even know he was still on the board when the Titans took him in round 7. That really shocked me. I do scout. I do watch players. I do put grades on players. I do like to play matchmaker. I don't really have a favorite college team, but I do like to play matchmaker. And Josh Caraway, I put a late 4th to early 5th round grade on him. So getting him in the 7th round was really great, and I do think he's going to get to see the field at a limited capacity this year. But anyways, guys, that's my list of players with something to prove. If there's anybody I left out, drop it in the comment section below. If you have anything Titan related you want me to talk about, drop that in the comment section below, and I'll get you a video featured and shout it out like I said earlier. On this channel, we're going to talk all Titan stuff. We're going to talk news, rumors. We're going to speculate and try to make some predictions. We'll probably do some game recaps. We're going to do several different things. We'll talk about the AFC South in general a little bit, and some of the more interesting league news we'll talk about, and league speculation we'll touch on a little bit. But this is mainly going to be a Titans page. I appreciate all you guys for watching, and remember to always stay tightened up.